Let's take a look at Tuesday in the NBA, the last Tuesday of the NBA season. There are 10 games on. We're previewing it. We're talking about guys to stream in for fantasy basketball. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I'm going to be reshaping my bat into a torpedo. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and we are available on all platforms. Check out lockedondaily.com and you can get the best newsletter for your favorite NBA team over there. All that information into your inbox 5 days a week. Welcome everyone who is here and still here watching the show as an everydayer, as a double banger. Good to have you guys here. There are only 2 games on Monday. I am not doing a recap show for 2 games for Monday at this point in the season. I was going to, it's going to last 10 minutes and I'm not really sure it's going to tell you anything. So I'm not going to do that. I am doing a preview here for Tuesday's games. There are 10 games on. Then we'll do a Tuesday recap show after Tuesday's games and all the other stuff as per usual during the week. Let's talk about these games. Let's talk about streaming. It is National Empanada Day. I don't know. Empanadas are fine. I wouldn't say they're my best Latin American food or my favorite, but they're okay. They grow on me. They're a little bit of a hit or miss to me, but that's okay. We all have our different proclivities. Should we talk streaming? Should we talk daily schedule? We're actually not going to talk daily schedule stuff. We're just going to go straight into talking about streaming and talk about injuries. Now, Tuesday to Wednesday is the only time this week where we do have some back-to-backs. So we'll talk about those teams in a sec. I just want to go through some injury statuses that we need to be aware of. And there's quite a few interesting ones that have developed here. Remember, we are in the part of the season where there are so many different competing ideas of jockeying for seeding in a good way, jockeying for seeding in a bad way, resting guys, preserving guys, ready for the playoffs, fake injuries, development minutes for others. It's all happening. Chicago has decided after their gallant run to secure themselves a lock-in, play-in spot, to really, really take advantage of putting up fake numbers to overpay their own players. They've decided today's a good time to rest players. So Kevin Huerter's out. Kobe White is out. Vooch is going to be listed questionable. Josh Giddey is going to be listed questionable. And Lonzo Ball, who was questionable 2 weeks ago, is out again. Shout out to Lonzo. And again, we love this. We respect this on the show. Shout out to lying. Well done for dishonesty. We love that from you guys. What else are we looking at here? That's the Bulls doing that. I am going to put, now I don't have an update on this one exactly, Pascal Siakam, who missed the last game. They said it's a day-to-day thing, but the reason I'm going to say that Pascal Siakam, and I'm going to do my projections, understand this as well when we go through all this, that I'm not going to have Siakam projected to play. They play the Wizards. So I'm going to be pretty surprised if Siakam is out there after missing a game due to injury just to come back to play against Washington. This would seem pretty unnecessary. But, sometimes teams do weird things. That happens very often. But that is one of the things that we need to watch for here, whether Siakam is actually playing. Keyshawn George, Chris Middleton, are they going to play in Washington? Tristan Vukcevic missed the last game as well. Tough. The Wizards are interesting as well because they have a back-to-back, but their second game, their second game is going to be a tanktastic game against the Sixers. So I would think that you're going to get Jordan Poole play on that game on Tuesday, but probably not on Wednesday. What they do with Smart, Middleton, Vukcevic, George, Richaun Holmes, I don't know. The two that I'm not really sure. Now, I am going to mark this game with George unlikely to play, and I'm going to put Vukcevic as questionable. So Vukcevic will be a part of the projections, but George won't be. There are a couple of big full teams we need to look at, and one of them is the Charlotte Hornets, who sat a bunch of guys in the last game. I'm just having a look. Oh, they actually did just release their injury report. It's Josh Green who remains out. Mark Williams is playing, and Miles Bridges is playing, despite him playing like 12 minutes or whatever it was in the last game. So they're actually going to be relatively whole. And I'm also putting the Celtics on this list, just as a whole team, because we know that they've done this for 2 years. They're going to sit guys. It's the first game of a back-to-back. I don't think that Al Horford will play in this one for Boston. I do think that you'll get Porzingis back and Tatum back, who missed the last game, but I think Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Drew Holiday are all at risk at sitting for Boston. But at the moment, it's very much up in the air. Just understand it is the first of a back-to-back. It is the Knicks. It doesn't really matter in that sense for them, but that's where we're at with them. For the Pelicans, last game, Jose Alvarado was out. Kelly Olynyk rested. I'm going to say that Bruce Brown is also a risk of resting as well. No idea whether he will rest or not, but given they gave a random Sunday off to Olynyk, there's a chance against the Nets that they sit Brown. Alvarado's not there. I don't think Jordan Hawkins is playing. But at the moment, I am projecting it with Alvarado, Brown, and Olynyk all in, but I think there's a risk that all of them are out. And I do put Kawhi Leonard here only because it's the first of a back-to-back for the Clippers. Now, he just played a back-to-back. I know that. Friday and Saturday, Kawhi Leonard played the back-to-back. He played 24 minutes in the first game and 25 minutes in the second game. So if he was playing his 37 minutes a night, would he play the back-to-back? And the thing is, I'm not sure. We need to find out because they play the Spurs on Tuesday. So what if he just plays 25 minutes on Tuesday and then they play the Rockets and he plays full load giggity on Wednesday? Will they do a back-to-back into another back-to-back for Kawhi? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But they won't have that ability to win the games by 50 combined points, which is literally what they did against Dallas, to sit him and play him half a game only. So while he did play the back-to-back Kawhi, I don't think there's any guarantee that he plays this one as the back-to-back, which, of course, is what we're paying attention to here. In terms of the teams with back-to-backs, I've mentioned a few of them already. There are a lot of them, man. And this is the only real streamable back-to-back you have. You've got Boston. We just talked about that. So Tatum, Brown, Horford, Porzingis, White, and Holiday are probably going to play. Some of them might play two, maybe Derek White. The others will probably play one game. You've got the Hornets, so Mark Williams in real danger there. Does Miles Bridges play both games? I don't know. I don't really understand Bridges. He played the back-to-back last time and then played 12 minutes the game after and rested the game before the back-to-back. So if you can figure that pattern out, well, maybe you don't have as much brain damage as me. I don't know. Chicago, they're on a back-to-back as well. We already know that they're sitting Kobe White and they're sitting Kevin Huerter. And will they sit Gideon? Will they sit Vooch? I don't know. Appears they are. The Warriors are still fighting for the spots. The difference with that grouping, that 3 to 8 in the West, is if you finish 7 and 8, you're in the play-in. So the Warriors, the Lakers, the Grizzlies, all of these teams in that zone need to still be winning and need to still be going hard at it. So you don't really have too much of a worry in terms of those teams sitting. I'll just mention the teams. There's the Lakers, Nuggets, Clippers, Warriors, Wolves, and Grizzlies are all in that zone. Now, none of them are going to fall down to 9. So the 9, 10, and 11, where it's Kings, Mavericks, Phoenix, 2 of those teams make the play-in, and they're way behind. Like, the difference between 8 and 9 is 8 games. So that's already settled, right? So those 8 teams, or the 3 to 8, those 6 teams, they're in to either the playoffs or the play-in. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you are in the 3 to 6 zone. And the difference here is that the 5, 6, 7, 8, I sound like I'm singing steps, they're all on 46 and 32, and the Nuggets are 47 and 32. The Lakers are in prime position at 48 and 30. But everyone else, it's like half a game. So all those teams are going to have to go hard into that area. That was the Warriors. So the Clippers I talked about already. The Lakers on the back-to-back. Rui Hachimura probably sits one of them. You've got the Thunder on a back-to-back as well. And given where they are in the standings, I'm pretty certain that somebody is going to be out in both of those games. I just don't know who. The Magic on a back-to-back. They should be pretty safe. The Suns on a back-to-back. Don't expect to see Kevin Durant here. And the Spurs on a back-to-back. They're not sitting anybody. And the Wizards on a back-to-back. They will sit somebody, especially on that second game. Jordan Poole, Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart will be out. They're probably the major ones to pay attention to. But as you notice, there's a lot of teams there on that back-to-back that we have got to be aware of. We're going to come back and talk Points League, Yahoo points, ESPN points, and streaming options to add in for Tuesday's game. Today's episode is brought to you, though, by Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That is over 8x the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 per month for 1 year from following the first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost. Over 8x the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November the 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. So now we can go into talking about streaming. And we're going to go into talking about points leagues and the value we can get across both formats, ESPN and Yahoo. And the differences are not extreme with those. But again, remember that I'm working under the assumption, and if something changes during the show, I will correct myself on this. But I'm working under the assumption here that Pascal Siakam will not play in a game against the Wizards after missing the last game due to an injury that they're managing day to day. That doesn't seem likely to me that he will play. But I don't know. Just also got an update from the Hawks. Nothing interesting there. It's just Trae Young probable again for the 45th millionth time. Cool. So I'm going to put Obi Toppin near the top of this list. Now, if you don't want to take that risk because you think Siakam will play, totally, I understand that completely. Just ignore any time I mention Obi Toppin's name because that's fine. The ones that we feel more confident in, Bob Carrington, because I feel confident that he's going to play minutes. He's going to play, let's say, 30, maybe 40, probably 30, 35. But he can be bad, we know this. But he's been better more of the time lately, which, of course, is a huge W. We go to his teammate. And this is going to be confusing because I'm going to talk about both of the bubbles here. Justin Champagnie. Also, risky. We know what can happen with him. He can play 10 minutes. He can play 20. I think he played 40 last game. I don't know whether George is playing. I don't know whether Middleton's playing. I expect both of them not to play. But if they do play, it impacts Champagnie. In Brooklyn last game, Nick Claxton rested. They're still sitting out Cam Johnson, who I am very certain is not coming back. They're still sitting out D'Angelo Russell, who I'm very certain is not coming back. But they put Nick Claxton off the injury report. So Claxton is going to return. Now, Timmy last game played 26 minutes, but the game before he played 24 anyway. So I don't think that there's a gigantic issue there with his playing time or that they're not going to roll with him or anything like that. But it is possible because also they're doing a lot of stuff that is completely unpredictable. And the last two games, two guys who have actually played a lot for them, Tyrese Martin and Jalen Wilson, have been DNPs 2 games in a row. So there is risk that at some point one of those guys just comes in and somebody like Timmy just doesn't play. I know they've played a lot, Martin and Wilson, so maybe they have just said, we've seen from you guys and we want to see what guys like the Vulture can do. We want to see what Drew Timmy can do. That's probably what's happening. But just be aware that those two guys played zeros and they could come in. But I do think Timmy's going to be able to do enough and he's just an option there for me to throw out for those deeper leagues to pay attention to. It's time for BDNR to ascend to his rightful title and throne as league winner. He went back to the starting lineup last game over Osa Ighodaro and was mid. But, again, he is available. And you're looking for somebody who you feel like might start and might play 25 minutes and might get 25 fantasy points. Unlikely with Richards, but you never know. And he has dropped in roster percentage, rightfully so. And that turns him into the guy that he always should have been. A streaming option. That's who he is. He's not a must roster. He never was. He's a streaming option. The last one I put on this list is AJ Johnson. Like with Bob Carrington, the minutes are probably going to be there. He's been really strong in getting playing time. He is not always successful in turning that playing time into good minutes or good numbers. But if you look over his last 7 games, 34 minutes, 27, 42, 37, 37, 29, 34. And that's pretty good. Like, that's a pretty solid minutes load. I wonder what they're going to do in that game against Philadelphia, but it's not like AJ Johnson causes wins, so I think he'll be okay. But on Tuesday especially, like no problem at all against the Suns. Is it the Suns? Yeah, no, sorry, the Pacers. The Pacers. So there's 6 names there for Yahoo points leagues. On ESPN points leagues, some names are similar. Again, the same stuff up the top. Obi Toppin and Bob Carrington. Cool. I'm going to put Ryan Rollins in. Now, last game it was Kevin Porter Jr. who started over Ryan Rollins. Ryan Rollins was still really good coming off the bench. And in this game, Giannis is going to be returning for the Bucks, which the pattern has very clearly been. That means Kevin Porter Jr. goes back to the bench and Ryan Rollins starts. Now, that pattern, coaches break patterns all the time. And Porter was great in the last game. But like I said, so was Rollins. No idea exactly what Glenn Rivers is going to do. But even in that game where Rollins was off the bench, he did plenty. He did more than enough to be an option. So even in Yahoo points, he's an option, but his value and his skill set does suit the ESPN points format more. I've got Justin Champagnie on that list. That's the Wizards guy. I've got Drew Timmy again on that list as well, which can be iffy. but he's there. Another name I'm going to include that's a little bit different on the ESPN points list is Timothy John McConnell. They are playing the Wizards, like I said. Do they go easy a little bit on Tyrese Halliburton? Do they limit what Nembhard or Mathurin does? Does McConnell get up to 20 minutes? Does he just cook in the minutes he's out there? Probably. And the format, the bump for assists, the bump for steals, the bonus you get for field goal percentage on ESPN points, all works in the favor of TJ McConnell. And that is an opportunity for him as a deeper league, as a stream option that not many people are going to be considering because, again, we don't expect that Halliburton's out, but I do expect that Halliburton is limited in playing time. So that's the other thing. Look, you might not get rests, so to speak. You might not see Halliburton on the injury report, but it might be one of those ones where he plays 29 minutes. And that means just a little bit of extra something for some of these other guys like TJ McConnell. That's definitely a possibility of what he can bring. We're going to talk about category leagues, the individual category streamers as well. We'll come back and talk about that. Today's episode, though, is brought to you by BetterHelp. You need to take care of your mental health because it's just important as taking care of your physical health. Traditional in-person therapy, though, it can be expensive, often ranging from $100 to $200, $250 per session, and that's where BetterHelp can come in. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense, saving you time and money. Therapy is not just for life's toughest moments. It can help with everyday stress, learning how to set boundaries, or developing positive coping skills. Having access to support when you need it can make a big time difference. Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedonnba today to get 10% off your first month. That is betterhelp, HELP.com/lockedonnba. Now we can come in and talk streaming options for category leagues. For the points category, the threes, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, field goals, free throw percentage. That is how we do it. Thankfully, not many people are watching these shows compared to during the season, so they didn't get to hear that singing. Let's talk points leagues. Not points leagues, geez. Let's talk points category. I say points category and confuse it with points leagues because the names on this are often very similar. And I use a different roster percentage cutoff for category leagues versus points leagues. I find it's a little bit more accurate to do it this way. But we are going to start at the top with Obi Toppin. Again, if Siakam plays, just scrub Toppin from these lists. But I want to put him out there for you. Bob Carrington. Cool. Drew Timme. I don't feel confident about Timme, but I do feel confident that he's available in every league. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit interesting, with an option there for some randomness who could pop off for 14 or 15 points, Timme's there. Milk Jerome. We know that Donovan Mitchell is out. He sprained his ankle in the last game. He came back and played like 20 minutes on it for I don't know what reason. Celtics injury report just dropped. Al Horford ruled out. Yes. All right, that's what I thought would happen. Holiday is probable. Jaylen Brown is questionable. Porzingis is questionable. Tatum is questionable. All right, it's good to know. But all the projections that I've had for the Celtics so far have had Horford out, and that is it. So we are on track with that one. Jerome with Mitchell out, he was really good in the last game. We will see them sit some other players, I'm sure, down the stretch here. But when Donnie is out, it's just more shots, it's more ball handling, it's 3 to 4 extra minutes, and Milk should be able to pick some of that up. Same with Strus, same with Hunter. Do we want them as a must-roster guy? Of course we don't. But as for now, we look at them as interesting stream guys. In Brooklyn, again, we go to Trendon Watford, who's been starting, getting the minutes over Jalen Wilson. Noah Clowney is out. Day'Ron Sharpe is out. Watford has not been necessarily dominating at all, but there is an opportunity for him to have these random pop-off 7 of 8 shooting nights where he has 20 points on 7 shots, 8 shots actually, with some threes and some assists and some steals and some rebounds. Hasn't always come together, but the opportunity is there. And then lastly, we love the opportunity to do this because we're going to San Antonio and we're going to the Pencil Harrison Barnes. Barnesy! Yeah, he is scoring well at the moment, and while their rotations don't make a lot of sense all the time, he's playing 30 minutes. Now, he could play 20, but he's playing 30 minutes, and in 30 minutes, you're looking for someone who might get you 17 points. There you go, the big fella. But he is incredibly unreliable. What about for threes? Speaking of unreliable, what about Royce O'Neale and his minutes? There's no Durant, but O'Neale and Allen and Dunn and Jones and Gillespie, they're all going to sort of fight for those scraps of minutes. Last game, we had Beal starting and Dunn starting, but O'Neale is in there. He might play 20, he might play 29. He will take threes. They won't go in, but he will take them. He could have his 0 for 7 night. He could shoot 7 of 7. He's done this many times. So there's always an opportunity. You could throw, if you don't feel comfortable with O'Neale, and I get it, you just throw his teammate Grayson Allen in there, because I feel like one of them is going to play 25 minutes. The other one won't, but one of them will. So just substitute him in. I've got Bob Carrington there. I've got the Spurs Champagnie there as well. Julian Champagnie, more of a shooter than his brother. Justin's more of a rebound, defensive stat guy, whereas Julian's more of a three-point guy. But again, he could get reverse Barnes. Barnes might play 30. Julian might play 20. Or Julian might play 28. Barnes might play 27. Or Johnson might play 18. Or Keldon might play 28. Or whatever they want to do. It's a little bit all over the place. But Champagnie's an option. In Cleveland, there's no Don Mitchell. So that means more shots and more minutes for two extra guys here. Sam Merrill, who's going to take 90% of his shots from deep. And the other one is the winter soldier, Max Strus, who, despite having the reputation of being a good three-point shooter, White, he doesn't take as many as you think he does. He's solid. He hits threes, but he's not like Sam Merrill chucking up 90% shots from there. He's a bit of an assist guy with some rebounds. But he's a good three-point option. Both of these guys, Strus and Merrill, are going to be able to do more. And the last name I put there is Bogdan Bogdanovic for the Clippers. There is a chance Kawhi sits, and that would really boost Bogdanovic up. But for now, he's a guy that's available more. He's more so in shallow leagues. Not going to be really spiking to a huge number if Kawhi is in. But if Kawhi is out, that does boost him even further up this list. We go to assists now. It's a little dark on this list at the moment. We can look at AJ Johnson, who's maybe. He gets some opportunities for sure. But it can be risky. At least we know the minutes are there. I've got Alfred Payton there. Now, if we do hear that Jose Alvarado is out, Payton probably moves to the top. Now, last game he had an incredulously bad stat line. It was 0 points, but 10 assists. And if you're just specifically looking for assists, there's a chance he's easily the best option here if Alvarado is out. I've got TJ McConnell on the list. That's what he does. I've got Bob Carrington on the list. That's not just what he does, but he's had a couple of 7 and 8 assist games. And this is a name that we're going to bring up. Well, these two names we're going to bring up a lot. They are available in a lot of spots. They are two-way players who are now playing maybe starting roles rest of season. And one of them is the Vulture, Reece Beekman, and the other one is Kenneth Simpson Jr. in Charlotte. Beekman was very good in the last game. So was Simpson. You do not find 35-minute point guards who can get 7 assists sitting on the wire all that often. I would not be excited about Reece Beekman or KJ Simpson at all. I don't think I've added Beekman to any leagues, but I do have Simpson in my my one Roto league that's still going. Because the other one's a draft and stash league. The one that we're still active in, I do have Simpson in that league. And yeah, these are guys who can have 15 points, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 threes. It's pretty bloody good. It's pretty good. But no, I don't think anyone, and again, hardly anyone's playing fantasy at this point, but Reece Beekman is actually doing something. The other guy to watch in Brooklyn, who's not really associated here, 2 other names, the Pimple, Derek Whitehead, and Tosin Ebonwa, who played 26 minutes last game. And they are, Brooklyn's a mess, but some random names are coming up. If we go to steals, we're going to go back to the Vulture. Reece Beekman. He's there. Chris Dunn is there. Always. He's always a 3-steal upside player. What about in Indiana? The exact same reason I told you that we're looking at Obi Toppin is the exact same reason I'm going to drop a big hello, because Jarris Walker is here. Now, if Siakam plays, I don't care to look at Jarris Walker at all. But I'm expecting Siakam out. I don't know that to be true. I'm expecting Siakam out, and I think that Walker in a game against a terrible... What if they just say, all right, we're just going real easy here, Jarris, play 30, and he goes 18, 7, 5, 2 steals, 2 blocks. 18, 7, 5, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Just write that stat line down. It's not going to be accurate. I do like Jarris' ability to get steals. I think he gets at least some minutes, and it might bump up pretty high. We've got a lot of J's here. KJ Simpson, T.J. McConnell. We know what these guys do. This is what they do. They're point guards. One of them's a starter, KJ. One of them's a backup, TJ. But they can both get 2 steals. And the other one there is the rabbit hunter, Alex Caruso. Now, that's risky because he could just get zeroed. They could just say, you're not playing, mate. We've got a billion other guys we can run out there. Wiggins and Wallace and Joe. Maybe AJ Mitchell's returning soon. I don't think he is. But what if we chuck Flagler or Dukas out there? Don't know. But Caruso, if he plays, is always going to be an option for us for steals. Free throw percentage. Let's go to Milk. He's a good free throw shooter. We go to Mike Conley. We go to Nick Smith, who that's one thing he can actually do well. KCP is available in a lot of leagues. Now, he is bad. He's also had a pretty good run of late. So I'm not going to totally discount Caldwell Pope, but he's an option. KJ Simpson. Should we just chuck KJ on the thumbnail for old time's sake? And by old time's sake, I mean, I don't think I've ever had him on a thumbnail before, but maybe it's time. KJ Simpson. And then Julian Champagnie, another really good free throw shooter whose role does vary a bit, but usually we're okay with it. Rebounds. Let's go to BDNR in Phoenix, who maybe they bench him again. I don't know. But one thing he does do, he gets rebounds. And if we expect that he starts, and I do, then we should be okay. Wendell Carter Jr. is available in leagues, rightfully so, but when you're looking to stream somebody with the back-to-back especially, he can get you 7 of them, let's do it. I'll go to Justin Champagnie. That's the Washington Champagnie. Too much Champagnies in this one. Too many Champagnies. That's better grammar. He is a double-double option if he plays 35 minutes, but if George or Middleton both play, that does impact him. But if they're both out, then we're all right. And I should have mentioned this guy a lot more, but Punch Bob, Bobby Portis, he's available. He's returning. Bobby Portis, his suspension is done. And he's been dropped, rightfully so, in a million leagues. So, Bobby Portis is back. Hide your faces, because Bobby Portis is returning. Hide your painkillers, Bobby Portis is returning. So, if you're looking for rebounds, honestly, points, or anything, Bobby Portis is returning. And hopefully, our long national nightmare of watching Kyle Kuzma play big minutes is done. And I say that being someone who does not value Bobby Portis as a good player at all. I want to put Drew Timme on the rebound list just for the deeper leagues, and then, of course, it is Obi Toppin under the expectation that Pascal Siakam is not there or available. What about blocks? Not a great list, I'll be honest with you. I don't think that Jeremy Sohan is playing for the Spurs, so we'll go with Biyombo. Could be 2 blocks, could be none. They didn't play Charles Bassey at all last game. Karlo Makovic, just give my man 30 minutes. They won't, but if they did, we'd be absolutely frothing. At the moment, he's getting 20 minutes a night. He's still getting he can still have 13 and 7 with 2 blocks in 21 minutes, which is why it's infuriating that he's not playing more. I'm not telling you that he's good. I'm not telling you that he's awesome. I am telling you that I think he's a better player than a lot of the guys they currently play, but that's okay. What I'm telling you is if he plays and plays big minutes, he would be their best fantasy player currently active. So we watch that one. BDNR and Luke Cornett, yeah, I wouldn't get excited, but they're both there, and with Horford out, it is an opportunity again for a 2 to 3 block game for Cornett. We go to Justin Champagnie, Wizard Champagnie. He is a good shot blocker. He can have 3 blocks in a game. He's done that before. And then Nick Richards' partner in crime, and there are a lot of crimes going on with the Suns. Iguodaro, Oso. I don't know why I said it that way, but Oso Iguodaro maybe gets a block or 2. He is playing over the cockroach Mason Plumlee. Have we finally killed off Mason Plumlee? It is possible. Let's talk about field goal percentage. We go to Luke Cornett, Jackson Hayes. Hayes' value would rise. It is the first game of back-to-back for the Lakers if they sit Hachimura on the first game. Now, I don't think they will, but if they do, then Hayes becomes more of an option. I've got Obi Toppin, Nick Richards. I've got Tom Bryant there because I do think that in his revenge game, heavy wink, in his game against the Wizards, it's more importantly that it's Wizards that we see Miles Turner just play less. So Bryant might play 20 minutes. Now, he's bad. And what I love seeing this when you see individual team beat reporters talk about certain players that frustrate me. One of them is Buddy Hield. And you saw it last year with the Sixers when they go, oh my God, it's great. Then 2 games in, they go, what is this? And the Warriors did it again this season. Oh my God, I see it. I see why people are so sick of this player. And then people did it with Bryant. Thomas Bryant got traded to the Pacers, came in, and they were all his teammates are high-fiving. It's been so great to have Thomas Bryant here. Then it's like 10 games later, maybe he doesn't need to be out there because that's what he is. He's terrible. And he's one of the players, though, who puts up stats, Moses Brown, and it looks like he's good, but he's actually not. But anyway, he might get some extra minutes here because their other option is Tony Bradley, who unironically is better than Thomas Bryant. And the last name on the list is the big fella again. It is Karlo Makovic. And speaking of big fellas, this big fella is out of here. I'm going to find an empanada. I'm not, but it is National Empanada Day. It's Tuesday. We're previewing it. I am not doing a recap show for Monday with the 10 with the 2 games on, but I'll be back again tomorrow to recap Tuesday and to preview Wednesday. In the meantime, so you don't miss any of those shows, hit the thumb on the video. Check me out on the other social platforms as well. I'm trying to do a little bit more short form content, which I'm going to really try to ramp into a schedule through the off season as well, with some stuff on countdowns of best players of the season and a whole bunch of other stuff we're going to do over there too. So stick around and stay tuned. Keep things rolling on the good side of life. Is that a real thing? Subscribe over here. You'll never miss. And guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.